Inmate G219 to help it back and better. Y'all know what it is. Another one coming at y'all. First, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that channel if y'all want to help out. Today is July 13th, maybe, or the 14th. I think it's July 13th. Yes, July 13th. It's Saturday, July 13th. Because in 7 days, I'll leave for Tennessee. Can't wait. Yes. So, Sunday, I got to visit Cleatus. It's the first time I've seen my friend since 2001. I went to jail in May of 2001 for my first jail stint. That lasted 4.5, 5 months. I got out a couple days after the September 11th attack. And then Sunday, 2024, this last Sunday, July 7th, was the first time I had seen the man. In 23 years and 2 months. So, just over 23 years I hadn't seen that man. Not gonna lie, it was a little awkward. It was a little awkward. And that was more on my part, because I think I was more nervous than he. I know I was more nervous than he was. This is a man that I hadn't seen in so long, for one. Two, I've never been on the outside of the visiting side, coming into a prison to visit somebody. Walking in prison voluntarily isn't the easiest thing to do when you've been in prison before. So that was something I had to do, but you know what? I wasn't freaking out or anything. It was just a little nerve-wracking, and it was well worth it. So, you know, we had an hour visit, hour and 15 minutes, I think they actually gave us. They wasn't a packed visiting room at all, which I was very grateful. It was an early visit. I accidentally scheduled the visit at 8 a.m., which I would not have done, especially the night after this big party we'd had. We'd had our 4th of July party, and I was not in any shape to be driving that night, well, Saturday night. So Sunday morning, I wasn't feeling the greatest, but you know what? I still wasn't gonna miss that for anything. Sorry, I had to hit my douche stick, but yeah, and I visited Cleatus. Now, for those of you that don't know who Cleatus is, he's a hero amongst many people. He will never call himself a hero because of the crap that he's gone through for the crime he's convicted of. Now, they do call it murder. That's no getting around that. But when you're unaliving somebody that's taken the innocence of a child, of more than one child, one of your friends, is that really unaliving somebody, or is that setting those children free? Because those kids look at him, at Cleatus, like he's the hero, and to many people he is. To those children's parents, he is. I know this for a fact because one of the parents I've talked to, one of the victims came and sat down right here with me and told you Cleatus is his hero. He still sees Nolan in his nightmares, Bob. So now that Cleatus has been moved closer, I mean, he's always been in Indiana, but it's been hours of driving, and me being a convicted felon, had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get on the visiting list. Now, there's other visiting lists that I'm trying to get on, and for some odd reason, Indiana's not letting me on the lists. We're just going to keep trying. But today's story isn't about that. Today's story is about Westville Correctional Facility. WCF. It's a prison in Northwest Indiana, inside Westville. Time out. Time in. It's just southeast of Chicago, about an hour maybe. So we've got Westville Correctional Facility, we've got Indiana State Prison. Those are the two prison, and then Indiana State Outside Facility. So there's technically 3 prisons in Northwest Indiana, but one of the prisons is attached to the Indiana State Maximum Security Prison. That's where I was. Well, both of those places were 2 of the 3 places I've been. And he is in Westville because his levels have gone down. Now he spent 22 years down at Wabash, which is a long ways away from here, 3-4 hours, and he just hadn't been able to get visits very often. Actually, he hadn't had one since 2008, up until he got moved to Westville. So his family did get to see him, and then I did finally get to go see him on Sunday, which was great. It was a great visit. And we did a lot of talking, though, because we do a lot of talking on the phone. We communicate through GTL. We do a lot of communication. Well, there's other people I know in there, too. And they're not in the same section as him. A couple of them are. But one of them I know is, we're going to call him JJ. Alright, so JJ is working on getting some footage for me from the insides of Westville. Now, Westville Correctional Facility is a place that's being closed down here in the next couple of years. They are building a new facility on the same premises, same grounds, same yard, just new facility, because the facility that's there has been in ruins since the 90s. I've never been there. I've only heard stories, but when Cleatus tells me the story of how there's asbestos on the pipes right above where they're sleeping, the windows are broken, I know it's true, because those are all the stories I've also heard from everybody else that's ever been to Westville. I can have my buddy Will come here. I did an interview with him. He'll come here and describe to you how bad Westville is inside. Now, it's a level 2, level 3 facility, but it's a very, very high populated facility. Overcrowded, understaffed, and a very dangerous place to be. Now, if you have the skin tone as I do, yes, if you are Caucasian, when you enter this facility, that is a very likelihood that you're going to be targeted. Now, not every white guy is. Like, Cleatus was not even considered. Nobody considered it. You could tell when somebody's done time. They don't mess with people that have done 20 years for unaliving an SO. They didn't even know that's what he was there for. But you could just tell when somebody comes in whether they've been down, if they're one of those weirdos that, you know, get those bad cases or whatever. You could just tell. And Cleatus wasn't messed with. Not at all. And if he had been, he definitely can handle himself. But he was describing how, you know, these broken windows, although, yes, it's a bad situation, there's no air conditioning in this place. It's so, when it's 110 outside, it's probably 120 inside. But just the breathing of the fresh air when it's fresh air is something that he hadn't experienced in such a long time while being inside, that he loves it. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by birds. I'm under my porch and there's a few birds flying around trying to get to their nest, and I think they think I'm trying to stop what they're doing. I'm not. I'm gonna wait till their babies are born and then remove the nest after, it's all done, but they can do what they want. Anyways, Westville has, like I said, broken windows. It's asbestos filled. It's been condemned for many years. So my buddy JJ is trying to get a new phone. He broke the camera on his phone because he had sent me a few pictures, and you can't tell. He didn't know his phone was broke, that you couldn't make out the pictures at all. He was trying to do it sneaky. This isn't like Alabama where people are just walking around videotaping. You can't do that in Indiana. They don't let the news get out. So Thursday afternoon, I get a text message from JJ. Well, Lieutenant Bradford and Sergeant Smith, employees of Westville Correctional Facility, cuffed up inmate Austin. Now, I don't know if Austin is his first or last name. It could be either or. I don't know. They cuffed him up. They beat him, then threw him in his cell, unresponsive. Now, I don't know the rest, but I don't know what happened to him. Nobody knows what happened to him, but he was unresponsive. And it took a while for them to get him out. So there may have been a cold-blooded unaliving by a lieutenant and a sergeant, not just a CO. Man, these are COs that Indiana praises and gives them stripes and bars. You're an important person. No, you are just as bad, or if not worse, as the guy you just beat. Probably. I can't say that for sure, but when you cuff somebody up and 2-on-1 him, you're some pussies. And it's known to happen there constantly. Westville is a place that is a very dangerous place. A lot of people don't know. Axl Rose, William Axl Rose, he was born in Indiana. He has been to Westville. A lot of people believe that the song Welcome to the Jungle was written about Westville, which the words definitely coincide, but if you look it up, that song was actually written about Skid Row. But some people will say that it was written about Westville. But the song Patience, what I've read and studied and looked up and found out, the song Patience was written while he was doing a small stint inside Westville Correctional Facility. Now, that was long, long ago, long before Guns N' Roses. So that you can't really, a lot of people don't even know that he's from Indiana, let alone that he had been to prison. So yeah, Axl Rose, he's been to the joint too. A lot of people been to the joint that you just don't know. A lot of successful people. Look at Tim Allen. I mean, although he did tell on his co-defendant, he got caught dealing cocaine. A lot of it too. Like life sentences worth of dealing cocaine. Yeah, Tim Allen. The Toolman Taylor. Yeah. I know, it's hard to believe, but a lot of people have been to prison. And inside these walls, man, things like that happen. Those murders happen. So if you guys want to help out, I'm trying to figure out a way to get the funds up to help JJ get some footage, and we will definitely be showing the inside of Westville Correctional Facility here soon. And, but, man, my heart goes out to the family of inmate Austin. I'm not sure what unfolded, what caused the scenario, because it's not likely that they just decided to cuff him up and beat him. He probably had done something to get cuffed up, but to be beaten so bad that you're unresponsive, that you have to go to the infirmary, maybe worse, maybe buried after that. And I guarantee that the family, if they lost their loved one, they think it was by the hands of inmates. They don't have a clue that two guards that are important guards inside the facility, beat their child or their dad or their brother so bad that, you know, now they do. Hopefully people get this story out, help share this story. It needs to be known, because this stuff just, it happens in every state. It's not just Georgia and Alabama, but prison's an unsafe place, and you can't always come home from prison, guys. Even going to a low level, you're not guaranteed to come home. And even though you might not be on the drugs, who knows what's going on inside there. If you're not a very strong person, strong-minded, strong-willed, you have no heart, you have no courage, you might be somebody's girlfriend. Actually, there's a very good chance you will become somebody's girl. And no getting around that. You gotta have a different mentality behind those walls. So, but it goes to show, you can't even just expect a guard to help you. I told a story a few months back about Richard Canada, aka Bucky. He took a flight. They got a whole term when the guards cuff you up and throw you down the stairs. This is in Westville Correctional Facility. They've got a whole squad called the Toon Squad. E Squad, that's the goons. They come in like a SWAT team. E Squad. I know Kentucky's got E Squad. I don't know where it's called everywhere else, but Indiana, and my boy Ken's, real Ken's, says it's E Squad in Kentucky too. And Dante, he's also mentioned E Squad. Well, E Squad's got a special branch in this prison called the Toon Squad. And they killed 2 inmates within 2 weeks. Might have been closer than that. But never forget life's choices, guys. Don't, because you never know which wrong turn's gonna take your life. You never know. But do me a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that channel if you want to help out. And hey, if they ain't hating it, you ain't making it. Peace.